Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start the program in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Thank you. Two minutes. 2 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. 2 minutes. too big time now working at Boomer Esiason, so they had to settle for me. And I do want to say that if you've listened to the radio over the past, I don't know, 20, 30 years, I've had the pleasure of endorsing Capital Mortgage Funding for all that time. They're consistent, love these guys, Harry, Dan, who of course isn't here because it's more important for Dan to play golf than to be here. They're just the best. They've been around for a long time. You know, when you, realtors, you guys know that Capital Mortgage Funding, they're there for you. They have been for years. They're not somebody that, wait a second, this guy worked for some other mortgage company like 10 years ago and put you in bad plans and screwed me, and now he's like, look on TV, he's working for somebody else. Anyway, enough of that. I do want to say it's a great day in Detroit because the Tigers did not play today. The Lions are 0-1, and Michigan State is 2-0. Michigan is 2-0, and both of them have beaten teams like Brother Rice, Warren De La Salle, Gallaudet, which is the school for the deaf. It's just the schedule these teams are playing. Michigan's even worse than that. All right, let's let the festivities begin. I want to introduce some people here. First of all, coming up on stage, we'll pretend we're like John Mason without the Detroit basketball. Ladies and gentlemen, she has over 18 years experience. Our Media Mortgage All-Star from 2019 to 2021. The chairman of the club member, Scotsman Guy, top originator, and top dollar volume. She's the vice president and team leader, the co-host of Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate and Business Show, Rebecca Ali. Next up, she has over 16 years in the mortgage industry. She's helped hundreds of families with responsible and affordable home financing. Her goal is to provide clients with equality customer service and extensive inventory that's made herself and Capital Mortgage Funding an industry leader, the top female originator of Mortgage Women's Magazine 2021, Lisa Lawson. Next up, he has over 25 years experience. He's an Our Media Mortgage All-Star 2020-2022. Must have been here in 21. The top 1% mortgage originator by Mortgage Executive Magazine, Scotsman Guy's top originator, chairman of the club member. He has a passion for helping people fulfill their dreams of becoming homeowners and is an avid, admitted Michigan State slapdick. Ladies and gentlemen, Vice President, Team Leader, Johnny Cole! Next up, over 30 years experience. Wow. Our Media Mortgage All-Star 2020 made it #1 goal to focus on providing the highest level of service to his clients. He's the co-creator and host of the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate and Business Show, the #1 mortgage and real estate radio show in Michigan. A former neighbor of mine, a great guy. He has 2 daughters, enjoys spending as much time with them as he can. He's wearing a ridiculous velvet sport jacket. Give it up for Harvey Freed! And finally, the president and co-founder of Capital Mortgage Funding, over 33 years in the mortgage banking industry. Before that, I bet you didn't know, he peddled members-only jackets. So he made a wise decision. Career choice is great. Co-host and creator of the Hardcore Mortgage and Real Estate Business, heard on 97.1 FM, ticket every Saturday from 9 to 10. A recognized mortgage expert. Interviewed nationally on CNN, Fox Business, MSNBC, CNBC, locally on WXYZ Channel 7, WDIV Channel 4, Fox 2, CBS Detroit, and the Food Network because he loves Tommy sandwiches. Multiple awarded Business Magazine, he's not a DB, top 500 most influential business people in Metro here. Happy birthday to Randy. Eric is here. Sid's in Colorado. Millie the dog would not be allowed because she bites you. Ladies and gentlemen, the only person I know with the name Harry Jules Lance. All right. I'm going to take a little break and let you guys do your thing.
So thank you, Mike Stone. Mike is a personal friend of ours. I don't believe we've ever not been on a radio station that Mike Stone's been on. So he is the godfather of sports radio in this city. He's big time. I'm glad he's an announcer, and we just do more. Just give it up for Mike Stone. So I'm going to take a quick 2 minutes, then we're going to get on with the show. We started this show, it's going on 23 years ago, and the radio station came to us, and they said, what do you think about doing a radio show? And I looked at Harvey, and I looked at some people in the office. I said, you know what? We believe in giving back to the community, and we named it the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show because we tell the truth. Whether you like it or not, whether you call in, you email us, you talk to us on the phone, I'm proud to say now, after all these years, we've got Becky Alley, Lisa Lawson, John Kolb, Harvey's still there, and I still do the show. And we're not going to tell you what you want to hear. We're going to tell you what you need to hear. So without any further ado, I'm proud to work with these four every single day. They're honest. They're very hardworking. We talk at 11:30, 12 o'clock almost every night, or we're banging out email, just like you guys are doing. So we're working every single day, every single night. And it's not just some punchline that you hear from other companies. So we're going to give it to you straight. You're going to see what we do every Saturday and every Wednesday in our podcast. So without further ado, Stoney announced the first set of panelists on the podcast, hosted by Harvey and Becky. Thank you.
Stoney, hold up on the food there.
We're live, everyone. We're live.
All right, I'm not going to reintroduce the people who are already on stage. That's not what I do. All right. I thought you guys were going to do a little here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to welcome to the stage. In 2018, she opened an EXP office, and it's grown from a personal team of 3 to a team of 12, and a total organization, or as they say in Canada, organization, that will exceed 1,500 agents this year. She is committed to growth and the betterment of others. The 4-time Icon Agent Award, Chairman's Award for the Circle of Excellence back in 2019, Southeastern Michigan Regional Chamber of Commerce Women of Achievement Award in 2020, and over 2,000 career sales. Michelle Summers! Same word. All right. American name. Sorry. Next up, consistently named as Brokerage Top Producer for the last 7 years, Birmingham's top agent year after year after year. She's generated over $500 million in real estate sales. Recognized by Our Magazine, Crane's Detroit Business, and the Wall Street Journal's Real Trends as being one of the top 1% of realtors nationally. She ranks in the top 10 for KW International in the region. Roberto on my part. Don't send that to Bellini, Roberto. Our Media Magazine All-Star Realtor 2017-2018.
All right, thank you, Mike Stone. That's why we call it the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate and Business Show right there. Mike Stone with keeping the pace with everything. And we want to introduce our great panel here. Of course, Becky Alley, Michelle Sayward, eXp Realty, Renee Lasiacho, Keller Williams Luxury Domain, and they're opening up a brand new office here in Birmingham, and of course another office off of Telegraph just south of Maple in Bloomfield Township. That's going to be a really killer office. Of course, John Kolb and myself, and we want to thank everyone for coming to this event. Really appreciate it. We're going to have about 200-300 more next year, so make sure you send us a lot of business in 2022 to wrap up the year. We're hoping everyone has a great fourth quarter. We're going to talk a lot about that. And first, let me start off the show by saying, again, welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Show, the real radio show. We're on the road. It's our first time we've ever taken on the road after 23 years. We are sponsored by Capital Mortgage Funding and powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 2289, equal housing lender. That'll serve all of your legalities out there for all of you guys. And to start things off, again, this industry has been really changing significantly. Of course, we're out of the pandemic, and this is our show really to get out, get everyone outside, and of course, everyone's back into the house and all that other fun stuff. But we'll start off with you, Renee. This crazy shifting market, that's a crazy word. There's other words we can use for shifting. But what do you expect and what do you see really going into the end of this year and really to start 2023 off?
So I love to talk about a shift. We've been talking a lot about that. I think it's important that people understand, especially in our industries, we're always in a shift. There's nothing that doesn't change. And if you think it doesn't, it's because you're not paying attention. So what does it mean? It means that mortgage rates are going to go up. It means that inventory is going to change. Inflation and other things are going to certainly shift people's momentum and their perspective on it. But what it means for us as industry professionals is that we have to set the expectations for our clients. We have to make sure that they understand, what the pitfalls might be or what the privileges would be of being in this market. And there always are asset standing situation if you know how to navigate them. It's preparing your client to understand that, if you need to maybe get creative with your lending, and that's what you guys do the best job at, is there's different strategies, there's different approaches. I heard a saying, and I love it, I'll use it, you marry the house and you date the rate. So even if you want to buy a house right now and you're concerned about the rates, guess what? There's going to be another election on the horizon. There's going to be something else. So what you need to be is prepared for marrying the house, dating the rate. And if you're a seller, the one thing that will drive every market, regardless if you're in a shift or anything else, is always going to be price. If you're chasing price and you are an agent or a client who is trying to look in the rearview mirror for the way you should price, you're going to make the mistake and you're going to really do a disservice for the client. So it's helping them understand that pricing will lead in any market at any time, regardless of what it is. So making sure that you're very current and you're on point with where you're pricing that product today is going to keep you in front of the market and not chasing it. And that's really what you want to do in any situation, whether it's a shift or a stable market, which quite frankly, I don't think I know a stable market. And as I said, if you're not paying attention to the signs or don't think you're in a shift, it's because you're not reading the signs.
Absolutely. I mean, we have to continue to understand how our clients, their needs and wants, shift to what they want, and make sure that we're presenting the offers, doing the mortgage lending the way that the realtors, everybody needs us to get it done so that we're always doing the right thing by the client. That's the most important thing.
Time having those hard conversations, right? So you're looking at one, they're over, and now you're looking at having to try price improvements. So how are you having those tough conversations when a seller is used to dictating what the price is?
Yeah, that's actually, thank you for bringing this up. This is Renee and I were chatting just before sitting up here on stage, and this is such a hot conversation, is that agents right now are going to have to level up. They're going to have to raise their game. This is a market where skill set is going to matter more than anything. Is my mic okay? Yeah? Okay. Oh, okay. All right.
I was leaning for no reason.
Okay. Where skill set's going to matter more than anything right now. Because if you think about it, agents that have not been in the business for greater than, this is nuts, 10 years. 10 years. Now, a 10-year agent is a very experienced agent. And so they've had some success. They've seen some growth. And so this is where conversations are going to matter most, because the absolutely worst time, to go to your point, the worst time to have a conversation with your client is in the moment that you're having that conversation. So agents, if you want to survive, then you're going to have to bone up on skills, because as this market is shifting, as Renee was talking about, it's always shifting, it's always going to change. this is a time where skills are going to matter most. And so making sure that you're setting the stage for conversation and you know what to say when you're sitting down with your clients in advance, that you're setting the expectation for what's to come. I think that's paramount right now. Yeah.
I think it's important. I don't know if this is working. We're going to play with these mics until they do. Here, John, take that one. We'll play some. It's also the one thing, we're just going to rip it right off and just claim it. Okay, we're gonna change the way this is set up. Sorry for those of you who spent hours upon hours setting that into the right direction. We're just tearing it up like we do.
We're live.
So, as far as what I try to tell people, and this is real important, right now locally it's a different kind of market, but we are hearing so much from the federal level. Everything is national news. And the Fed is raising rates, and the inflation, and this. It is so important that you're talking to your clients and understanding the stats in your local market, setting up the expectation not from what the national level is doing, but from what you have going on in your market. Look at your trends. Look at your trajectory from the last 10 years and what we are looking at, because that's really what is most important. There are certain areas, just like there are certain stocks that are recession, we're not going to say recession-proof, but there are industries that are considerably recession-proof, and there are areas that I call recession-protected. So if you're looking to buy or sell and you're talking about the national trends and the national inflation and be really specific and hone in on your market so that you can give that data specific to your client and they can understand it on a micro level as opposed to a macro level. Sometimes that's a game changer for people. But really setting up those expectations and knowing the market, not for today, but what it's looked like over the last 10 years, and then where maybe those projections would look at. Sometimes that gives people some comfort in what they're considering doing. Because yes, you're buying now, but hopefully you're not selling tomorrow. So if you look at that from a longevity standpoint, it really is helpful for people to understand what they're doing. I think it's important.
I think we say this every week on the radio show, that in Southeast Michigan, it moves a lot quicker than in a lot of areas of the nation. And we have to be able to adapt and understand what's going on, work with our realtor partners so that we know that we're all working together to get a successful transaction done for the client.
It's also important to realize that recession does not mean a housing crisis. It's two different things. The market from 10 years ago to the market right now is not what it was. There's a lot of cash in the market right now. It's not poor. It's not overinflated appraisals. People are choosing to pay over market value. So it's a totally different atmosphere. So when people are saying, I'm waiting for the housing market to crash, what? Because they're seeing 5% appreciation over 18, that's a normal market, and that's what we're going to see in the future.
Not on.
Kick it on.
There you go.
So we're going to have to lower the price a little bit more to get you the traffic. Because a normal market is that your house could be on the market for a couple weeks. Oh my goodness, and you could get a counter offer.
Michelle, definitely have those conversations up front and make the seller very comfortable. It's difficult to have those conversations 3-4 weeks already into the transaction. I like what you guys are saying, Renee. Level up is a really positive mindset for all the agents that are here, and that's what we want to spread against Southeastern Michigan. Thanks, you guys, for coming up. Again, we're going to continue the panels here. Renee Lasiacho, Keller Williams, Michelle Sayward, eXp Realty.
We're gonna
Thanks, you guys,
literally
again.
pass the
Always
mics.
awesome stuff.
Thanks for having us.
All right, we are doing a raffle here. 2 spots for the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Show. 97 won the ticket. 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Saturdays. Brooke Villalova. Villalova, okay. Way to go. Here's winner number 1 and number 2. Noel Heidemann. Way to go, Noel. All right. The next panel, ladies and gentlemen. Harry Lenz will be the moderator. Here we go. Jim Schaefer and Associates have helped over 4,000 families buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the great state of Michigan. They're the #1 real estate team in Oakland County with over 1,600 reviews and an average of 5 stars on Google. Jim Schaefer and Associates was founded in 2012, co-founded Good Company in 2020 with his sister Gina Schaefer Jones, and a co-working brokerage. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Schaefer. I wish I could fit in those G's. All right. Next up, 16 years in the appraisal industry. Paramount Appraisal, 11-year-old company. He resides in West Bloomfield. Yeah, WB. With his wife and 3 daughters, Mike Tomczyk.
Hey, nobody clapped for the appraiser. It's amazing. Rodney Dangerfield. You're right here, bro.
And last but not least in this program, she is the Stewart team's senior sales partner and started with Kevin as his first team member and sole administrator. She works specifically with buyers to seamlessly get them from home search to move in. One of her favorite parts of her job is the opportunity to guide clients through a complex process in a way that makes the transaction simple and stress-free for them. Give it up for Jessica Zilke. And speaking of Stewart team, his role as team leader and program owner. Kevin leads and manages a team and prospects of business. He builds, maintains, and develops relationships with his clients and his community. He's inspired by his father,
I'll take that. I'm going to take that. All right, everybody. Thank you, Stoney. Thank you to Renee and Michelle in the last panel. Trying to bring you the best and brightest realtors. Now we're going to turn it to
Hit it.
the realtors. And how many times do you get to see in a panel realtors, an appraiser, and a mortgage guy? I don't know. The attorneys and compliance people don't like us getting together. Trust me on that. But I want to jump right into it. I want to thank everybody for being here. It's a great panel. There's a lot of knowledge. We're trying to disseminate all the accurate versus inaccurate information to only give you the hardcore facts. But I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to go to Jim. Jim, right now, okay, 2022, September 15th, this market hasn't been like this in some years. We got to forget about 2020 and 2021, right? What are you telling your team? You have a big team. What are you telling your team right now to focus on that you weren't focused on, or what are you doing different that you didn't do in 20 and 21?
Thank you, Harry. First of all, not all markets affect all people equally, which is a really fascinating stat. So we've been talking about that in our team. What you acknowledge expands. If you acknowledge this downturn, you'll be a victim of it. You'll be run over by it. We aren't those people. So currently, we're just focused on the same old stuff, the stuff that got us where we are, that's going to take us to the next level. Relationships, right? On our team, we have a term called relationshipping, which is not a real word. We use it all the time. So we're in, yeah, it is, right? So we're in.
It's really about the fundamentals, right? Forget about yesterday. Don't focus so much on tomorrow. Nose in the grindstone, day-to-day fundamentals, blocking and tackling, right?
Yeah, this is the exciting time. It's take territory time. A third of the agents in this room won't be here in 12 months.
So I know Kevin has a stat. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Stewart, Jessica Zilke, Stewart team, downtown Rochester. Kevin, share that statistic that you shared with us before we got up here.
National Association of Realtors. National Association of Realtors today dropped a stat: 1.6 million agents in the United States of America. 1.3 million of those agents have sold less than 4 homes this year. Less than 4, which means that 8% of realtors have only sold more than 4 in the first half of the year.
Right.
So the simple fact of that stat is that, like Jim said, unfortunately, a lot of the people in the industry are going to be massively affected if there's a change.
Yeah.
Most of you on this stage won't, but that fact rings very true.
So the moral of the story is, like Jim said, don't be a victim of all the noise that's out there. Okay, we feel the same thing in the mortgage industry. Truthfully, I don't care what mortgage rates are. We tell our team every day, back in the 1980s when interest rates were 18%, people were buying houses and getting mortgages. In this environment, people are going to buy houses and get mortgages. It's all about relationships. Jessica.
Jessica, we built our business on relationships, and we believed early on that was going to be a key to growing something that was sustainable. And so, markets like this, any shift, anything that people want to say, truthfully doesn't scare us. All we see is opportunity.
Right.
Myself and Jim constantly are talking about opportunity and how we feel a shift actually is a positive thing. We feel it can do some good things to the industry that for the long term of the industry become a good thing, not a bad thing.
Right, so you and Jim are really good friends. Jessica's an integral part of your entire relationship team. I brought an appraiser in here. One of my favorite topics when we go on the show. It's about property values. So right now, all you realtors in the room, here's the guy that you can grill about the appraisal. Now, here's how a realtor looks at an appraisal. They don't care as long as it comes in at purchase price, right? A seller thinks because they put in that $50,000 brick patio that it's all of a sudden going to appraise for $80,000 more, and a buyer doesn't even want the patio. So I brought Mike Tomczyk in here. Really, first of all, I've known Mike now going on, it's got to be 16, 17 years. He will not be influenced by anything. But the first question I want to ask you, Mike, what's going on with property values? And you mentioned to me that you do a lot of Jim Schaefer properties, don't you?
Recently. Yeah.
All right, so what's going on from your perspective about either the shift, stabilization, property values? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, we will. First, I didn't hear a lot of applause when I came up here, but there it is. There it is. I love all of you. All right. Regardless what the appraisal value is, I love all of you. All right, now with that, I call it a correction. I've noticed other people calling it a shift. That's totally fine. Either way, there's definitely a shift. I know that a lot of happy agents out there right now, because we're using all of the sales that occurred during the summer, all right, and all of the appraisal values, not all, but most, are all coming in now. So that should make all of you happy, but certainly noticing a correction. Not necessarily checking the declining market box yet, but we're getting close, but certainly noticing a shift here. Did you want to talk about that patio? It seemed like you wanted to.
No, I want to talk about the patio because in every appraisal, what everybody fears is that the mortgage underwriter isn't going to take a look at your adjustments of what you're doing and giving weight on it. Without getting too technical, appraisal geeky and mortgage geeky, there's only certain things you can do, right?
There's only certain things we can do, there's no doubt, and I know not to give numbers while we're doing this format. Harvey will yell at me for that one, so we won't do that. So what I'll tell you is this. If I can't extract it from the market, if we can't prove it using math, we can't adjust for it, all right? But there is value in that. There's a thing called intrinsic value, okay? So intrinsic value means people perceive it as valuable. If they come there and they want it, they may want to buy the house as a result of it. It may reduce your marketing time. So there is value there. But as far as putting a number on it, if I cannot prove it, I cannot do it.
All right, there you go. Jessica, I'm going to go over to you, and I want to talk about your area versus, say, Jim's area. Jim is up and down. We call it the Woodward Corridor. He's all the way Ferndale, all the way up, all around, all the cities in between. You guys are in Rochester. What are the similarities and what are the differences on how you think that you have to market a property versus, say, the Woodward Corridor? Right. Right. And I say, and Jim, let me ask you this question. What kind of expectations are you setting your sellers up for? Houses aren't going in a day with 29 offers and then you pull it off the market anymore. Maybe they are, but I think it's a little bit different mindset now, right?
Yeah, certainly homes are sitting on the market a bit longer. Is that working? Yeah. Sorry, certainly homes are sitting on the market a bit longer, so you just have to reset expectations with your seller that their neighbor may have gotten 30 offers on their house, but those days have long gone. And now we're going to aim to be on the market for less than 30 days. Just setting expectations that way and changing that thought pattern, which is, it's old school real estate. We're always going to have ebbs and flows in our industry, right? Up, down, market, in between, interest rates, really. I say who gives a shit, right? Let's talk about our industry, where we're going, what's happening to it, commission compression, tech trying to invade and steal our industry. So that's the conversation that we as professionals ought to be having.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Jim Schaefer, Kevin Stewart, Jessica Zilke, and Mike Tomczyk. Thank you very much, everybody. And I think Sony's got more stuff to raffle off. Go ahead. We've got another raffle.
We have some more raffle items. First up, the Capital Mortgage Funding swag bag. We have three of them, we're going to do one at a time. Alice Whitted. We've got Alice Whitted here. There's some applause. Okay. Swag bag over there. Next up, Cindy Ames. Joe Gallo. Hey, hello, Gallo. Joe Gallo. And a pair of Lions tickets plus parking. I'm not sure which game it is. Kurt Schubel? Schubel? You're welcome. All right, time for the next group. Becky Alley will be up here as well, but she doesn't need another brand introduction. Joining Becky, he is a top producing real estate agent selling 100 plus homes per year. Leads a team of over 100 plus on his expansion team. Is a real estate coach and a speaker with Glover U. I think Glover U played Michigan last week. Author of Unleashed 7 Key Principles to Breaking Free and Breaking Through, and a podcast host to the Justin Ford Unleashed podcast. He's been married to his wife Joy for 17 years. They have 4 children, a son-in-law, and a grandson. Ladies and gentlemen, Justin Ford. He is a broker owner, Remax Street Properties, and the great communities in North Livonia. 2021 Remax of Southeastern Michigan. Number 1 agent for commissions earned. Number 2 agent for transactions closed. 2021 Remax of Southeastern Michigan. Angel Award winner. The contributions to the Children's Miracle Network, which is awesome. Remax Chairman Club member. And a Remax member of the Hall of Fame. No steroids to get in that Hall of Fame. Kyle Lang. Hold on. Next up is Metro Detroit's top 5% realtor in 2022. Home stats, first half of 2022, top 15% agent award winner. Is in 2022, Remax first Sports Bear top 40 agents under 40. His passion is to help home buyers find a perfect home for their family and helping to educate them throughout the process. He advocates for this.
These mics are good. It's like you just gotta.
Put your hands together for
Matt,
Matt Bush.
he's like in share one. So these good, yeah. They're good. Woo, Matt! Woo! Yeah.
And we'll bring Lisa Lawson back up too.
Woo!
Take it away.
Take it away. What is going up, everybody? Can you hear me out there? All right, we are streaming live on Facebook right now and YouTube. So make sure you guys like the Capital Mortgage Funding Facebook page, share it. We got a ton of information that's going out. I know you guys can't really hear it in the back, so we're trying to bump up these mics. Try to be respectful of the guests so that way everyone can hear it, because you're listening to top producers in the nation, in Michigan predominantly, right? So, I mean, you can put these guys up to anyone in any state, and I will put my name on that. So give it up for Justin Ford, Kyle Lang, and Matt Bush, everybody. All right, so I'm going to kick it off with my man Justin here, because he's no stranger. He is literally touring the nation, talking about what it takes to be a good agent in a tough market. He came from a tough upbringing. He made some choices, right? It's no secret what his story is. He is now a published author. The book, Unleashed, it's selling on Amazon. He does big things, but the biggest part about him is he is pouring into our community. So, Justin, you're going around and you're the biggest advocate of this collaboration over competition. And, you know, you started with, you're talking about, you're with EXP, you're traveling with Glover U. Tell us a little bit about that and what you guys are really focusing on when you're talking to these agents.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that first, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Collaboration is so important, and I know that and a lot of times in industries like real estate, you can look at it like there's a bunch of competition, but we're all out to accomplish the same thing. And I started my real estate career with Jeff Glover and went out on my own, and people find it, you know, surprising that we still work together in different capacities. And the purpose of joining Glover U is to be able to help other real estate agents learn systems and processes and being able to take their real estate business to the next level. And it's actually one of the things that I really enjoy about this industry is we can work with each other and not even be in the same, you know, brokerage or business model.
I mean, the thing about that, too, is when you think about it, there's books on how to get 6-minute abs. Really, people will literally give you a play-by-play on how to get the perfect body, how to be a millionaire, but no one can do it because it's your model and people sometimes they don't follow through. So the fact that like you're really pouring into people and sharing very vulnerable moments about yourself and prospecting. So give us a little nugget on how someone can scale their business and sell 100 homes.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you know, real estate, I think we overcomplicate it a lot of times. We're looking for this system or this process or, you know, this tool to help us sell more homes, when really at the end of the day, the way that we sell more homes is by having more conversations with people. And what I love about what I teach, you know, through prospecting is the more conversations you have, the more opportunities that will present themselves. And it's really learning how to overcome the fear of rejection and getting out in front of people and having those conversations on a daily basis.
You talk to no one, you get no one.
Absolutely. And the more people you talk to, the more opportunities that present themselves.
Just like everyone out here talking, making all the opportunities. I'm going to take it over to Kyle Lang, right? You're no stranger to the business, but I love seeing you turn the corner, right? You're really hitting your stride. You're really kind of putting it out there and letting everyone know that you are a household name, and I absolutely love it. And one of the biggest things that why we pride and we have people of the highest caliber on the Hardcore Mortgage Show is because you share our values. And I know you're really big on making sure you're in alignment with people that have good ethics, right? So tell us a little bit about that, on how you can make sure your consumer is aligning with the right agents.
Yeah, a lot of people ask me, what did you do to kind of grow your business and to keep it continuously growing? And at the end of the day, we have to take care of people. People trust us. They come to us for a reason. And if you have the client's best interest, not your own or not another agent's, in your heart, you're going to win every time. But all you have to do is take care of people. If you put the client first before anybody else, that's how, just like Justin said, right? Like, he who talks to the most people wins is so true. But if you talk to people and you're genuine about what you're talking about and you actually show that you care, you're going to get so much more business that way versus buying a Zillow lead, going to Realtor.com, doing random things like that. It's showing people you care, and that's how you help scale your business.
So what you're saying is you can actually find value in being your true, authentic self.
100%. If you're not yourself, then you're faking everybody, and people will be able to, they're going to know. Even if you get through the transaction, how many agents out there, they close a deal, they never hear from that client again, right? Like, you got to show love to your client. Everyone always wants to generate business and generate leads for themselves. Go back to the well. Talk to people that you've already worked with And if you work with them, they're going to continuously send you people as long as you did right by them. And obviously, if they're picking up the phone, they had to have a pleasant experience with you.
The thing that what he's talking about is you can't be transactional, okay? So when you're transactional, it means that's a high and buy, but there's value there. We're trying to be the one-stop shop for all of our clients, right? If you need someone to cut your grass, you're calling me. You need snow removal, you're calling me, right? And that's the point, is that, you know, we are a national lender. A lot of people don't know that. We are licensed in all 50 states, and we are top 3 in the nation. And we got there by being authentic. We have ethics, we have character, and we're always going to meet our standard. And I know, and Harry, and we're never going to lower our standard for no one, right? You can have people come in and out of your life, but as long as you keep your standard here, you're always going to get it. And speaking of standards, I want to get it into Matt Bush, right? What about brand? Are people working with you because of the big red balloon? Or are they working with you because they like Matt Bush?
Well, I hope it's because they like me.
I like you, dude.
But honestly, I've actually gotten 3 referrals in the last 2 months from the same family. They just keep calling me and say, hey, now our cousin needs to buy something. Now my uncle needs to sell his house. So back to what Kyle was saying, people, they always say that realtors burn out because they forget about them. They don't stay in touch. The best way to stay in touch with somebody is to give them that, white glove Class A experience, because they won't forget about that one time that they won that bidding war. They won't forget the time that, they got their first house from you. That giant check that allowed them to buy their dream home. You were every step of the way the reason why that occurred. And they don't forget those milestones in life, because when they're flipping through the photo album, whether it be an actual photo album or just scrolling on their Facebook or on their photos, you're in all of those photos. So when you're leaving a lasting impression on these families, and that's how you got to stay in touch. You got to keep talking to them, and that's what we do. We're in the dream business.
What a lot of people don't know about Matt Bush got in the business because he had a bad experience as a first-time buyer. And I don't know anyone that went to college to be a real estate agent. I feel like most of us kind of just fall into it, and it's just something that, and then you're really good at it. But the fact that you specifically got into the business because you wanted to be better than the experience that you had says a lot about you.
He sells Comcast now.
He sells Comcast. You're a real estate agent? Yeah. Lisa, I want to talk to you real quick about ethics, and you're someone that I admire. I'm always going to you for things. Tell us a little about where you're standing as far as are people working with you because of Capital Mortgage Funding, or they work with you because you're a good person? It's whatever. Hold on, we got a technical difficulty, but that's all right because you guys are all talking amongst yourselves anyway. It's all good.
Now? Can you hear me now? Sorry about that. So, yes, I think, having integrity and passion for what you do is so important. There's a lot of people in this business, and we've talked about use the word transactional, but I always tell people I want to treat you like family. I want you to feel like my family, just like I would want anybody else to be treated. And I think that's so important. This is one life. We're all here. We should be having a good time, but there's no need to just be a transactional person. So sometimes we go above and beyond. And yes, I might call you 6 months and ask you something about, hey, how are things going with whatever topics that we may have discussed and come across, or things that we have in common. But I think that's what makes us human, and I think that makes us work. I don't think you want to work with someone who doesn't really care about who you are and what your goals are. And I think that everybody here is successful because we truly have passion, and we truly want, our buyers and the people buying these homes to feel like they're one and only, that they're important, and that we're doing this for them.
I'll give a little nugget away that when I talk at real estate agents, because again, you could give someone your playbook and it doesn't matter because the information's the same, but the message is different. So I don't get shopped around a lot, and the reason for that is because I answer 3 questions that people don't even know they want the answers to. I answer, do I care about them? Can they trust me? And can I help them? And as long as you answer those 3 questions in those conversations, you're not going to have any issues because they're going to feel it in your heart that you care about them. And that's what everyone on this panel, everyone that we deal with at Capital Mortgage Funding, we align ourselves with the highest caliber of agents because you're in line with our values, our ethics, and you guys are always going to hit your standard. So let's give it up one more time for Matt Bush, Kyle Lang, and Mr. Justin Ford.
some more things to give away. Some more swag bags. Kelsey Clark. Kelsey Clark. Sean Locke. Sean Locke just left. Okay. Number 8 for the Boston Red Sox, Yaz. Yaz. Yasmin Abdulabi. Yaz. And one more for the 2 more Lions tickets for the Parkers. Ken Ong. Ken Ong. All right, time for our final panel discussion. So Harvey Reid, Lisa Lawson, and Becky Alley, they will be up there and they'll be joined by 2 outstanding gentlemen. One is a co-founder of Social House Group, the co-founder of Social House News, the co-founder of Gravity Title Agency, president of Project Promise, a 501c3 nonprofit, $165 million in career real estate sales since 2017. He's not Gary Wright, the dream leader. He's Eric Wright. And the associate broker at Kelly Williams Lakeside, ranked in the top 10% of Keller Williams Lakeside agents every year. He also owns a property management company specializing in revenue maximizing for landlords and turning renters into first-time home buyers. He's the father of 2 beautiful girls, Gianna and Eva. He's married to his best friend, Tiffany. He sounds like a Montreal Canadian, Jacques Gagnon.
What's up, man? All right. Hey, nice to meet you.
Okay, I hope everyone's having a great time. And again, we want to thank you again for joining us here for the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate and Business Show on the road. It's our first event. We're going to do this again if you guys send us enough business here in 2022 and next year. We'll definitely have everyone back to celebrate a great, hopefully next year is going to be a great real estate year. Eric Wright, Social House, Realty. Eric, you guys specialize in really what we're doing right now is getting the word out on the street, bringing the community to the real estate market and vice versa. And it's really cool to have all this new, fresh, young blood in the real estate market. So welcome to our little panel here. And of course, we want to hear what you have to say, what's coming up. Oh, you know what? I'll let Becky go ahead. Becky, you want to?
All right, so we got Eric Wright up here who, like, literally, people think that he just came out of nowhere, but he didn't. His partner, Yaz, I feel like I'm going to have to get you up here in a second. I want to start with Eric because he specializes in social media and he's taking things in a different direction. So I want to know, was there like this do or die moment when you were literally creating Social House Group? Like, was this moment like, I got to get out of what I'm doing and this brokerage is not for me, I need my own thing?
I wouldn't really say it had anything to do with the brokerage per se. I worked at a small boutique shop in Plymouth when I got into it, and I always had the vision to start my own thing. So I just kind of hit that point where in 2018 I was solo agent, didn't have a TC, was doing everything myself, and kind of hit my capacity. I did 85 units that year and just couldn't do any more myself. So I met Yaz right around that same time, and it just kind of made sense to kind of start my own brand and then build a team around us that can start to offset some of the admin stuff.
So how have you taken social media and taken your real estate business between you and Yaz to the next level? How have you been able to leverage your systems, your technology, and then in turn people?
Yeah, I mean, I get like these like secret to success questions all the time, and I hate it because there's really not one. But like I think from the standpoint of like us building out our brand and us being successful on social media, it all just comes down to like this inherent self-belief of like not being afraid to put stuff out there, not being afraid to be yourself. I mean, this is what I wear on listing appointments, what I have on right now. You know, so just kind of like staying true to your brand and just knowing that no matter what you like or what you're into, there's somebody out there, there's a lot of people out there that are into the same things. And so just kind of being comfortable with that and being authentic and not really caring what everybody else says. Because trust me, I got tons of feedback, tons of pushback in the industry about wearing ripped jeans, you know, as an agent and things like that. And it's funny now, I see it catching on a little bit more people with their headshots and t-shirts, and I love it. So
Listen, people used to always talk crap about me because I'd be bebopping around the office in a baseball hat, and I'm like, listen, I'm going to do more transactions in my baseball hat than you are in your three-piece suit, so I don't want to hear it. It's true. Hey.
I think at the end of the day, the people that you're talking to are people just like you. You know, so it's like when you show up in a suit sometimes it's almost intimidating and they feel like they're being sold, but when I show up in jeans and a t-shirt, I always wear a hat, but it just kind of feels more organic and it allows you to build a relationship with somebody.
Sure. Let's kick it over to our boy Jacques here, right? You can't, how do you feel about, can you fake it till you make it?
I mean, you can try to, but, you know, being genuine, as Eric was saying, and Harvey, we were just talking about this, if you want to be a three-piece suit agent, you can be a three-piece suit agent. If you want to have holes in your jeans, you can do that too. Everybody has somebody out there that they want to work with, so you don't need to ever adapt who you are as a person or compromise your integrity for the sake of a sale, because honestly, there's enough to go around for everybody, and everybody's got a special niche and a special talent. You should take advantage of that and work with people that want to work with you.
So what is setting you on fire right now? Like, what's something that you literally just, that you're seeing in this market that people are doing that is just literally setting your soul on fire, good or bad?
So, you know, the thing about this market is, and we could say the S word, which is shift and whatever, and the first segment, the agent said a good thing there about the market is always changing, but the reality is you have to be able to adapt, and so many sellers are still thinking that it's 6 months ago. And we need to come to terms with the reality that it's not. Buyers are still having issues and still being a little nervous about it, but it's the biggest thing I see is how agents conduct themselves. It's not a courthouse. We're all in this thing together, whereas there's all equal parties. We're all trying to get to the finish line, and I had a closing today, and I sat there saying this was not like the O.J. Simpson case. We all laugh, but some agents, they sit there and you'll fight the whole time, and we're all on the same team. That's just all win-win-win, so that everybody walks away with a smile on their face.
Okay, so I'm going to hit you guys with a question that we talked about on the radio, okay? So what is your take on reduced commission agents? Who's taking the hit? If you can't negotiate the 6%, who takes that hit? Is it the buyer or the seller?
I can take my side of that.
We can talk about it. I don't know.
I'm one of the co-founders of Social House. At our brokerage, we actually have a rule at our company that if you can't get 6%, it comes out of the sell side. So the 3% is always getting offered to the buyer's commission no matter what. I don't care if you're at 4%, like it's still 1% to you. And I take that from the perspective of the reason why most agents have to cut their commission is because they're really not doing much for you. You know, I think 90% of agents, they throw the house in the MLS and that's it. Probably more than that. You know, there's very little advertising being done after the home's listed, and so if I was a homeowner and somebody was selling, I was selling a $500,000 house, I'm like, I'm selling you $500, giving you $15K to throw my house on Zillow for me. Like, get out of here. I'll do that myself. So I think we're going to see a big shift in like what sellers are expecting as more people start to adopt social media and more people start, you know, leveraging professional photographers and videographers, and you're going to start to see a lot of agents that thought they could get away with just throwing on the MLS and, you know, giving a 2% commission to buyer's agent. Not to mention that gives a really bad rep with other agents, you know. But needless to say, I think once agents start really getting in the habit of just actually serving their clients in a better way, you're going to see those commissions kind of plateau and start going back to where they should be. So,
Jacques. So I like the idea of the seller always taking the hit, and I think, Becky, what you were asking me is a conversation we had about a month ago about double dipping commissions, which I personally don't do, and if you do in the room, that's awesome to you. But Eric, you're right about sellers should take the discount. Seller agents should let the buyer agent have the 3%. The market is going to change with commissions, but Becky, to your question, the answer to me is I don't double dip, and I really usually don't suggest double dipping because we have a fiduciary duty to our seller. And how do you represent both sides? Even that, oh, it's easy to sell a house. No, it's not. Stuff's gonna pop up. Houses are gonna have deals fall through. Deals are falling through on listings everywhere. That's how it's gonna be. It doesn't matter if you're a good agent or a bad agent. It's gonna happen. So your always best interest is for the party you represent. Now, how the payment happens on the road with buyer agents paying their own agent, we don't know that yet. We'll see, but do right by your client, put their needs before yours, and you'll never have a bad business. If you want to do 3 transactions a year, congratulations, you'll get them. But with this market changing, you won't be in the game for much longer, I promise. The good ones will stay, we'll be here next year, but the bad ones, they'll be maybe driving our Ubers after we have a few more cocktails.
Want to thank you guys for spreading the all the good stuff out there, building communities, all the great real estate agents out there that build all these great communities out there. You guys play a significant role in helping build. I mean, I always tell families when they're about to buy that house or make that offer, you're about to meet all your new best friends that live around the corner, and your kids are about to meet their lifelong friends. And, you know, at the end of the day, like I said, bringing the communities together, we see a lot of that now, Eric, and I know that you're doing that with the social newspaper, is bringing some of the local stories into the real estate mix.
So it's something we just launched probably 5 weeks ago now. For background, my dad, he was a writer for the Detroit Free Press, Gannett, for about 25 years. And I've always wanted to kind of start my own business with him and let him like retire, quote unquote, but, you know, kind of do his own thing. And so 5 weeks ago, we launched Social House News, which the goal of that is really to just kind of shed light on positivity going on in the community all over Metro Detroit. You know, focus on more of the good stuff, whereas if you swipe left on your iPhone right now and look at the news thing, it's all negative. You know, and it's like, I'm sick of seeing that, and there's so much good stuff happening in the community. So we just launched this local news platform called Social House News. It's all digital, nothing like tangible that you're going to get in the mail or anything. But we're pumping out like 20 articles a week, you know, showcasing local businesses, people doing good things in the community, whatever it may be. So it's been really cool.
The reality is this, is that icons don't follow trends, they set them. And everyone that has been on this stage is an icon in their own right because they are out here doing all the right things in the community for the real estate, mortgage lending, you know, so anything that you need, you always keep it right here at the Hardcore Mortgage Show, Capital Mortgage Funding, because we're here going to set you right with all the right people.
All right, we're going to make that a wrap then. All right, thank you all for coming out and again checking out the podcast. Stay here and party all night. Stay and socialize. We got a couple more raffles coming up, so keep it here. And stay tuned. We're going to have the Saturday morning. Nick Calty and Stacy Taylor are going to be joining us from Quest Realty on the Hardcore Mortgage Show. If you haven't been listening to the show, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. every Saturday morning on 97.1 The Ticket.